If you're using remote cameras and they have an intercom type thing where you can speak to the person that you're watching, I've got a great tip for you this week. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with shadowanyone.com. Got training stuff all over there. Shadow Anyone, go check it out. Look, and I also want to say, if you want to share this tip that I'm about to give you um, with a link to this video or whatever, however you might do it, just don't call it a hack. That drives me up the wall. It's a tip. It's a trick. It's something that I've learned over years and years of doing this, two things, in fact, and I found them really, really helpful. Feel free to pass a link around to this, but do yourself a favor, do us all a favor. Let's not call this another hack for remote cameras and intercoms. Having been in this industry for decades, I had access to remote cameras and remote intercoms long before the doorbell type things and the internet connected type things were there, where you might have, I remember one place I used to work had a large, beautiful mural on a wall. And in order to deter vandalism, we could watch it on camera, but we also had an intercom there. And if we saw somebody, we could say to them something and talk to them. And that always did the trick on moving them along. Now, what I'm going to tell you here is, 99% of the time, if you speak to somebody on the intercom who's not supposed to be where they are, maybe they're up on your porch, maybe whatever it might be, as soon as you speak to them, they're going to scurry off like a roach when the lights come on. However, there are people who aren't going to just immediately scurry away. And I find this a lot with drug users, people smoking crack, drinkers. If you got that guy or that group in your neighborhood that finds a stoop and sits down and starts drinking and just doesn't care, this tip will help you with those types of people. And the tip is, here's the phrase that I like to use when someone is up and they're not moving right away. I say, you can't do that here. You can't do that here. There's two things about this phrase that are important and helpful to you. Number one, notice you can't do that here. That you can't do that. Whether you know precisely what they're doing or not, you know they're not supposed to be there. Whether you precisely know what they're doing or not, they think you know what they're doing. So again, this might be somebody who's turned into a corner. Maybe it's going to be public urination. Maybe they're with somebody else and they're dealing dope, or they're getting ready to spark up a crack pipe, whatever it might be. And I know you don't light a crack pipe, but you know what I mean. If they're getting ready to smoke dope, whatever it might be, even if their back is turned to you or you can't see exactly precisely what's going on, when you say you can't do that, they believe you know what they're doing precisely, and that's very helpful. The final word of that phrase, here, is also key. The instinct when you're talking to somebody remotely, your syntax, the way you talk to them, is as if they were distant. You have to leave there. You can't be there. You can't be there immediately tells them you're nowhere around. But when you say here, as if you're standing just on the other side of the door, as if you were standing right there with them, that tells them you're nearby and you can take whatever action that you want to take. It's a very subtle thing. I'm not talking about threatening people, anything like that. Just that one little phrase, you can't do that here. Man, that makes a difference, and it really moves along some stubborn people that you might otherwise have to call the cops to get moved along. If you like this tip and you want more information, some tactical, usable stuff, that's way more in the private investigation world than this kind of security or even home security type realm right there. But I do have a free report over at shadowanyone.com titled, If You Want to Be a Private Investigator, Give Up, unless you do these three things, and that's right on the homepage for free. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with shadowanyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.